fighting mummies. For this episode of Daily Fredo, I am going to introduce these air quotes. So every time you hear the word documentary when I speak about Netflix's Queen Cleopatra, I won't have to do this. I am not here to bash the black actress that played Cleopatra, and in all fairness, I don't mind anyone portraying Cleopatra as a black woman either. Hell, make her a superhero fighting mummies and sand monsters, a fictional depiction of Cleopatra movie. The problem here lays in the fact that this film was released as a documentary and failed to provide any historical proof on the matter. For those of you who don't know, Cleopatra came from a determined Greek Macedonian family. She was the last queen of ancient Egypt, last queen of Ptolemaic family. So let's get into real stuff. But before we do, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications, because there is so much more awesome content coming, you will not want to miss it. As you could imagine, Greeks and Egyptians lost their shit after this portrayal of Cleopatra. Jada Pinkett Smith, who is the producer of this beautiful documentary, has managed to single-handedly piss off 2 whole countries. Hyperallergic said Pinkett Smith launched her African Queen series production with the intent of educating herself and others about Africa's legendary black queens. As the mother of a young black woman, she says, "It is important to me that she learns the lessons of the African queens who paved the way for the success of generations of black women." Users took to Twitter. The documentary series on Netflix where, get this, Cleopatra is played by a black woman. The reasoning? People don't often get to see documentaries about black queens. Gaslighting Jada Smith.
His words.
And a Greek user says, "Και τον κολοκοτρώνη μαύρο θα το κάνουμε στο τέλος." Kolokotroni is this guy. I watched the documentary and it starts with an expert stating,
"Remember a grandmother saying to me, I don't care what they tell you in school, Cleopatra was black."
following the trailer release of Queen Cleopatra, a new documentary depicting the historical figure as a black woman. I'm telling you, don't screw with Greeks or Egyptians. They take this history very started the first part of the documentary, they are mentioning her skin color, okay? They explain is a strong word, they just state that she was black. And we're supposed to accept it without any historical backup, okay? And I have this weird suspicion that if this documentary didn't come out as documentary, there wouldn't be a problem. There would be more people that like it, or more people that at least don't care about it. I honestly suspect that the reason they casted a black woman as Cleopatra was to cause outrage. Because in our times, if something doesn't cause outrage, it doesn't give you traction on social media, in marketing, in views, and ultimately when earning money. So now it didn't matter to them to bring attention and awareness to black queens or any stupid bullshit point that she made in her interview. It's about marketing. It's about being paid well. So don't be surprised when in the future there will be a documentary where Cleopatra identifies as a king. And another user says, remember, these are the same people that never miss an opportunity to complain about whitewashing, erasure, and cultural appropriation. The thing is that this is the focus of the movie. Her skin color is the focus. It was the marketing. It was to cause the outrage. I found someone who can perfectly summarize my thoughts.
Cleopatra. You guys been waiting on this. Not only did they choose the wrong race, but Jada Smith, isn't she in enough bullshit? TV and movies would be great with black representation, with their own characters. What's the point of a reskin? We already know the story. You're not telling a new story. If anything, it looks like the woke mob is just literally trying to erase white people. And it's one thing if they were animated and they weren't real people. There's nothing you could say to me about this. Cleopatra was a white woman. This is legal blackface. Another reason why I really don't fuck with Netflix. This is their idea of being inclusive. Plus, if we really want to get technical, Cleopatra was her. Jada Smith is not attractive. And I know Hollywood's great, but there's only so much makeup you can do. Yeah, I'll stick to the originals. Y'all can watch the one with Will Smith's husband if you want to.
So since the documentary of Jada Smith failed to provide any historical proof to anything, I dove into research. I found many resources, but I feel like this guy explains it the best.
We don't know who Cleopatra's mother was.
And therefore we automatically assume that she must be a sub-Saharan African. There's obvious political and target demographic reasons to want to push this narrative, but these are the facts. It's estimated that about 30% of Fayum was Greek during the Ptolemy period, and this was a place in Middle Egypt. Cleopatra was born and bred in Alexandria in the north, possibly the most Hellenized city outside of Greece, and the Ptolemies were infamously inbred, and the upper class was tiny, so her mother was almost certainly someone in the Macedonian ruling class. I suppose there is a tiny chance that her mother was a Greek from the non-ruling class in Alexandria, and if we're pushing it, I suppose there's a exponentially smaller chance that she was somehow a native Egyptian. And if we really do want to push it, I suppose it's technically possible, but there's an extraordinarily small chance that she could have been an Ethiopian or a Kushite from all the way in the south who somehow made their way to Alexandria and copulated with Cleopatra's father, Ptolemy the 12th. It's just such a small, almost impossible chance, and yet we want to represent her as a black African.
And that was missing in the documentary. Even chance, okay? A tiny chance, just explain it, where this theory came from. I found an actual good documentary about Egypt and about Cleopatra. So if you want to watch it, it's by Curtis Ryan Woodside, and I can link it down below in the description. I think in the past few years, Jada Pinkett Smith has proven to us that she is a psycho, that she is manipulative. She literally tricked her husband into doing an interview, public interview, after she cheated on him. So I don't know, if you can do that to someone, I believe you are able to want to manipulate the whole freaking nation, okay? And you are not bothered by the consequences. I don't think she is bothered by any of it, by any of the outrage. I think she's sitting at home and she's like, 100. But what it does It crushes the spirit of the actress probably, who walked into this project probably thinking that this is gonna be her big break. She was excited, and then the trailer dropped and the backlash started. I'm sure she didn't expect it, but I am sure that Jada Pinkett Smith expected it. Okay, that's all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like this video, and let me know in the comments, what do you think? Did you watch the documentary? Do you know Jada Pinkett Smith? Did you know about her before the outrage spiked? Did you know she was in the Matrix? I didn't. That's all for today. Have a good